For Telesur, I'm Cody Weddle in Caracas, Venezuela. We begin today in Mexico, where 4 more graves with charred human remains have been found in the state of Guerrero. That brings the total number of graves found to 10. Protesting teachers are calling for the resignation of Guerrero State Governor Ángel Aguirre. They also demand that the mayor of Iguala, José Luis Abarca Vázquez, be tried. Abarca Vázquez fled the region after the clashes began. 43 students went missing last month after clashes with the police in the town of Iguala. Allegations continue of local police involvement in the disappearances.
We were present where the events took place, and we know that the municipal police are the ones that took our fellow students away.
Also in Mexico, in the northern city of Torreón, officials capture the leader of the Juarez drug cartel, Vicente Carrillo, better known as the General or the Viceroy. Carrillo is the second kingpin to be captured in the past 2 weeks. A civil war between the Juarez and Sinaloa cartels between the years 2009 and 2011 ended in a bloodbath in Ciudad Juarez. The violence made it one of the most violent places in the world. With just 2 days until Bolivia's general elections, incumbent President Evo Morales continues to expect a huge victory. With campaigning now over, polls show little hope for Morales' nearest rival, businessman Samuel Doria Medina. This is Doria Medina's third attempt for the presidency. Strong anti-corruption measures have been put in place by Bolivian authorities to prevent voter fraud. Morales' ongoing popularity comes as a result of the economy growing faster under his term than during any other period in the past 3 decades. The economic growth is thanks to measures attracting the highest percentage of direct foreign investors in South America. Bolivians have also seen a doubling of public spending in the country as a percentage of the GDP. The gap between rich and poor has been narrowed through measures such as raising the minimum wage, which has increased by almost 90% under Morales. After winning the first round of Brazilian presidential elections, incumbent Dilma Rousseff will face a tougher challenge in the second round. According to polls, she and pro-business challenger Aécio Neves are neck and neck. Neves is looking to join forces with other conservative candidates like third-place candidate Marina Silva. Silva has yet to officially endorse either candidate. In Chile, 5,000 students marching to demand a higher quality and free education system were met with water cannons Thursday. President Michelle Bachelet's administration has pledged to reform the country's private higher education institutions. They have remained mostly unchanged since the Augusto Pinochet dictatorship. And to Venezuela, where another video has emerged revealing plots to destabilize the government by right-wing extremists. In the video, one of the plotters, Laurent Saleh, appears with members of the Venezuelan opposition. And for what else this video has revealed, we turn to our correspondent here in Caracas, Rachel Boothroyd.
Thanks, Cody. Here in Venezuela, a second video of alleged terrorist Laurent Saleh has been released, this time linking him to Maria Corina Machado, who is a right-wing politician here in the country. Now, Machado is the second politician to have been linked to this series of what have been termed terrorist videos here in Venezuela, with the first politician being Antonio Ledesma, who is actually the metropolitan mayor of Caracas. Now, what this latest video has done is to blow a hole in opposition claims that there are 2 different groups operating within the Venezuelan opposition. Firstly, a group which is potentially violent and is prepared to go out into the streets and burn public buildings, and a second group which is committed to democratic change. Now, obviously, this is a narrative which has been seriously undermined by this latest video, which links Laurent Saleh and the potential terrorist actions which he plans to carry out with Maria Machado. who in fact stood as a potential presidential candidate in the primary elections of 2012 and who has substantial links to US politicians such as George Bush. My name is Rachel Boothroyd, reporting for Telesur from Caracas, Venezuela.
Rachel Boothroyd reporting in our newsroom. In other news out of Venezuela, Foreign Minister Rafael Ramirez announced Thursday that the International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes has ruled in favor of Venezuela in a case with ExxonMobil. Ramirez says that Venezuela will only pay $1.6 billion to the transnational company for assets nationalized between 2006 and 2007. That's rather than the $12 billion demanded by the oil giant.
This is a favorable end to the long battle that ExxonMobil has waged against our country. The transnational company has been attacking the sovereignty of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela for the past 7 years, attacking the nationalization of the Orinoco oil belt, as well as the termination of the oil concessions that were made with the state oil company PDVSA during the 1990s.
And we go to Colombia now, where judicial strikes continue. Here's our correspondent, Charles Parkinson.
Yesterday, 9th of October, here in Colombia, judges and other legal professionals went on strike for the second time in 18 months. This time it's left more than 400,000 court proceedings at a standstill. But what's the reasons for this strike? Well, essentially, legal professionals are not happy about the fact that their facilities have barely changed since the 1980s, and there's a major lack of technology. Now, that technology is needed to help overcome a backlog of hundreds of millions of cases. Now, to exacerbate that, 8,000 legal assistants who are helping with that backlog are soon going to lose their jobs, which means that an overwhelmed and ill-equipped legal system is soon going to get worse. Charles Parkinson in Bogotá, Colombia.
Community members of the Shaw neighborhood in St. Louis, Missouri continued protesting for the second night straight. The demonstrations come in response to the shooting of 18-year-old black teenager Vondret Myers Jr. by an off-duty police officer. It comes 2 months after Mike Brown was shot by Officer Darren Wilson in Ferguson, sparking weeks of protests in the St. Louis area. And in Syria, thousands of people will most likely be massacred if Kobani falls to Islamic State fighters. That's according to a UN envoy. After a 3-week siege by Islamic State militants on the Syrian border town, the Islamic State has taken a third of the city. Turkey has so far refused to send troops to fight the Islamic State without a NATO-declared no-fly zone. Meanwhile, in Turkey, police have killed at least 31 Kurdish protesters and another 360 have been injured in demonstrations denouncing the government's lack of military action to save Kobani. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has accused protesters of using the events in Kobani for political purposes. He claims they aim to sabotage the peace process in progress, addressing the Kurdish resistance group's 30-year armed struggle. The Nobel Committee has awarded the 2014 Peace Prize jointly to Kailash Satyarthi of India and Malala Yousafzai of Pakistan. Malala is the youngest ever recipient of the prize. She survived a Taliban gunshot to the head. The Taliban targeted her due to her fierce advocacy for female education. Co-winner Kailash Satyarthi has been a longtime crusader against child slavery. And to Uruguay, where the country has made a great leap forward in technological development by creating the region's cheapest 3D printer. Called the Smart Wrap, the machine is based on a French design and costs just $600. Once you buy the starter kit, you can upgrade by simply printing out new pieces. Plenty more on those stories and others at our website, telesurtv.net/English. For Telesur English, I'm Cody Weddle.